Step right up. Cats is under the big top and Paramount's reimagined take on this legendary musical. But you ain't seen it quite like this. I'm talking contortion, acrobatics, juggling, aerial feats, a whole circus tent of Jellicle Cats. Running from April 30th to June 15th, this production of Cats is sure to enchant a new generation with imaginative storytelling and groundbreaking circus flair. Cats plus circus equals perfection. Get the tickets today at ParamountAurora.com. Use the code CityCast for $5 off per ticket, up to 4 tickets. Today on CityCast Chicago, street festivals are struggling and we discuss why. Plus, we're looking forward to some new restaurant openings and the perks of being a CityCast Chicago neighbor. It's Tuesday, April 22nd. I'm Jacoby Cochran, and this is what Chicago's talking about. I've got producer Michelle Navarro in the building. Michelle, welcome back to the microphone.
Hey, Jacoby, what's up?
I'm doing well. How was your weekend, my friend? How are the kiddies doing?
The kitties are doing great. My cat Cleo had 3 orange kitties and they're healthy. They opened their eyes a couple days ago. But yeah, they're super cute. They're still wobbly. Like when we take them out the box, they're just like wobbly. It's so funny. But yeah, they're cute and they're healthy. My weekend was good. Easter/420 activities. So yeah, how was your weekend?
I was going to say, you talking about the cats opening their eyes. My eyes was like largely closed, like sort of very... The blinds were down for most of the weekend, but Saturday was beautiful. I photographed my sister's surprise engagement. I got that exact picture when like the garage door opened and she saw the bouquet and all of the balloons. It's one of my favorite pictures I've ever taken in my life. It was a beautiful weekend with my family. I'm so excited for my sister, Jessica. I'm excited for my brother, Charles. And so, yeah, it was a great weekend. And now we back to, do what we do every single day, Monday through Friday. But before we get into the show today, I want to remind folks about our spring membership campaign. You can join the growing community of passionate CityCast Chicago neighbors, and you can get a free CityCast Chicago coffee mug at membership.citycast.fm. I want to give a huge thanks to our CityCast neighbors, Brian F., Neville H., Pauline E. for joining us already this week. Also, did I mention that when you join, you're going to get a shout out on the podcast? All the more reason to join at membership.citycast.fm. I want to see a whole bunch of names. I want to be reading off. I want it to feel like a telethon in this thing, right? I want to feel like you and you and you and you get a mug and you get a mug and you get a mug and you get a mug, right? Right? We ain't got no chairs that you sitting in to look up under, but virtually, I'm trying to get my big O on up in here. Michelle, let's jump into the news. It really feels like summertime shot is like right there on the horizon. For me, right after my birthday, April 30th, it feels like it's all steam ahead for the best city in the world. And I don't know about you, but I'm already going through the list of street festivals. I already got my Georgia Smith concert tickets, finna grab the Kenny concert tickets. Like I'm already putting things on my list, but a coalition of street festivals came out late last week and they say, hey, we all excited for the summer, but we kind of need to hit the brakes a little bit to have a very difficult discussion. This coalition of 20 plus Street Fest organizers, they kind of sounding the alarm here. What are their biggest concerns, Michelle?
Yeah, so this coalition started from the Wicker Park Bucktown Chamber of Commerce, and it's called Save Our Street Fest. So leaders in the coalition, like the executive director of Wicker Park Bucktown Chamber of Commerce, Pamela Mass, have stated that a cost of security, entertainment, insurance, and infrastructure, so like that means like those porta potties, right? Like the portable restrooms, fencing, staffing has all dramatically risen. And because of this, our street fests are in danger. We kind of heard last year about some downsizing already. We've had street festivals in the past just completely cease to exist because of rising costs. And so this isn't new, but this has been a concern for a while. And so now it just seems like it's getting to a point where street fest leaders have to kind of get together and start talking about what they can do to, make sure that our street fests continue to happen and, continues to be like a pivotal part of summertime Chicago.
Yeah, some of the other organizers mentioned here, you said Wicker Park Fest. You also got Roscoe Village Burger Fest, Whale Street Art Festival, Rib Fest, Midsummer Fest, Pride Fest. And again, the list goes on and on. And I imagine festivals that aren't even represented here. The 79th Street Renaissance Festival, for example, Mole de Mayo, the Puerto Rican Pride Parade and Festival. Like a lot of these organizers are facing very similar struggles. But to your point, Michelle, last year when we were having this conversation, I feel like so much of the change we ended up focusing around the Democratic National Convention. Like we covered heavily Hyde Park Fest, Silver Room Block Party. We knew that these struggles were happening, but I feel like over the last at least few years, there have been so many other mitigating factors that we haven't just talked straight up like, hey, it's just getting more expensive, right? Last year was the DNC. The years prior was the pandemic recovery. But it's very clear in what these organizers are trying to say, like pandemic aside, DNC aside, things are more expensive. It is tougher to bring good music acts, good artists out to the city of Chicago to feel not just your big Lollapaloozas where you know Muggs is finna be out there, but they saying, to get somebody to Wicker Fest, it's going to cost us money to put somebody out there. Jeff Fest already announced that they're going to run one day shorter. Taste of River North, Taste of Lincoln Park are going to run 1 day shorter, right? I imagine all of the signage, the security. We know it's expensive, but when I walk to a street festival, it's always donation, right? $5, $10 donation, because you and I both know by taking up public streets, they can't charge tickets. But Michelle, when you see that $5, $10 donation, how often do you pay when you go to a free Chicago Summer Festival, not put on by the city, but put on by like a chamber of commerce, a neighborhood organization? How often do you donate?
Barely to none. I think there was one time that I did donate, but it's because it was the person that was there looked like a high schooler, or maybe they just looked really young. And I just didn't have the heart to be like, no, because we just locked eyes. But besides that, I don't pay. I mean, Jacoby, we were just talking about if I go to a bar or a club or something and there's a cover, I usually turn around.
100%.
Not because I don't have the $5 or the $10, but it's just like I can go somewhere else and they're not going to charge me. And so I think because of that mentality, it's hard when you see donations suggested, you're gonna be inclined to not pay. Unless you're a very generous person, then disregard what I'm saying. You probably do pay all the time. But Jacoby, how often do you pay?
Dog, I think last summer I gave money at the Inglewood Block Party, which was put on by like Greater Inglewood, Rage, Imagine Inglewood. And so I gave money there, but every other time, bro, almost never. One of the reasons is because, again, I know they can't ask for tickets or they can't charge the ticket price because they're using public streets. I know that the donation, like people have varying ways that they ask for donations. Some places, it feels like it's not really a donation. Like they're like, hey, we need the money. Other places, you walk through the entrance and it's just a sign. No one's standing there with a bucket. And I already know I'm going to spend money when I walk inside. There's like, if I'm going to Rib Fest, I know I'm coming to spend $30, $40. If I'm going to Wicker Park Fest, I'm probably getting some nachos, a funnel cake. If I'm going to Burger Fest, I'm probably about to try 3, 4, 5 burgers. And so it's not like I'm coming here with the expectation of just like walking in, walking out, like not paying any money, right? I'm probably going to get some merch at some point. And so I think a lot of people think they're already supporting the festival, but right, a lot of that money is going to the vendors who themselves had to pay to be there. So they try to make their money back as well. And like we talked about this earlier, when I see sponsored by McDonald's on the Chinatown Summer Fair, like I'm like my brain immediately is just like, oh, y'all got McDonald's money up in here, right?
Yeah, literally McDonald's money, like y'all covered. You guys don't need my couple bucks out my humble pockets. You know what I mean?
Celebrating 15, 20, 25 years, my brain is just like, oh, so this is just, right, I take it for granted. This is just in the budget. This is just planned.
Pamela Mass, again, the executive director of the Wicker Park Bucktown Chamber of Commerce, wrote an opinion piece in the Tribune, kind of talking about kind of like a plea to the people that love these fests. I mean, she talked about Wicker Park Fest downsizing this year after its this being its 21st year. That usually draws 70,000 attendees in three days, and so the fact that they're downsizing, even though it's one of the most popular street fests in the city, is just kind of, again, it just shows how dire, it is. And she kind of makes a plea at the end of her piece, kind of saying like, we need people to pitch in, we need neighbors to pitch in, because if not, this is not sustainable.
When we think about the Silver Room Block Party, for example, that was a festival that, based on, so many people loving it and supporting it, it got too big for the streets it was on. And so when they did move to a place where they could charge tickets, right, we know that had an impact on people being like, oh, this was always free. People didn't show up in the same numbers. And after two, it wasn't here anymore. And so it feels like, even as the organizers of this coalition say, we're not asking right now to move towards full on charging tickets. We are asking people, pleading with people to this summer show up. Continue to show up, but maybe show up with that $5 or that $10, because I do think the next step is, one, people shutting the festivals down, downsizing the festivals to one day, or this coalition, which has already shown they got some organizing behind them, maybe goes to the city, tries to get it removed where they can't charge tickets. And we know that could have an adverse impact as well. And so I think for some festivals, this is the right time to consider. Do they need to be 3-4 festivals? Can they sustain 70,000 at this? And again, I imagine, like, for all of these festivals, the rising costs and contending with making sure you're bringing like the best artists, bringing in legendary acts. We could talk about, is, summertime shy getting too big, but I think like this is one of those things where it's like, it's our fault as well. Like, we want bigger. We want better. We want to be enticed. We want to feel like the festival is unique and it's not just, right, the same funnel cakes and hot dogs being recycled. And so I think a part of it is on us and on our expectation. And so I guess ultimately what we asking and what we're going to hold ourselves to this summer is like, we're going to donate more, right? I'm going to show up. If I go to a street festival, I'm going to make sure I got $5-10 in my pocket when I pull up.
Yeah.
So that I can donate going in. Because across this 4 years doing this podcast, I can say, not been my best habit. Not been my best habit.
Yeah. And if you don't have cash, because I know I never do, a lot of them take Venmo, they take Zelle, they'll have their little pin pads ready. And so, yeah, I mean, if you love Street Fest as much as we do, definitely try your best to donate to at least one, your favorite. Like, go and do it.
Pride has never been louder. Out and Amplified, a night of queer music, will be an electrifying celebration of love, resilience, and music, featuring 3 trailblazing artists taking over the Riviera Theater on Friday, June 20th, 2025. You got Vincent serving up an unforgettable fusion of pop and R&B that's gonna have you dancing all night. Parson James is bringing soulful ballads that'll touch your heart and lift your spirit. And John Duff is delivering high-energy pop anthems that command the entire stage. But wait a minute, that ain't all, y'all. You're gonna also catch epic DJ sets from some of Chicago's hottest talents like Miss Toto and Icy Baby. Trust me, you won't be able to stay off the dance floor. So kick off Pride Fest weekend with a night where you'll feel seen, heard, and celebrated. Out and Amplified is at the Riviera Theater on Friday, June 20th. Tickets at moatsevents.live/tickets. You can save $5 when you use the code CityCast. Well, go ahead and hurry up. This exclusive deal ends May 15th, and these tickets are going fast. Don't wait and be part of a night that promises to be out, loud, and unforgettable. That's moatsevents.live/tickets. I talk about my moms all the time on the show, so y'all know how much I love Mama T, but I'm gonna be real, buying gifts for her can be a little tough, right? When she sees something, she like it, she just get it. So for her recent birthday, I needed something that said, I appreciate you, I love you, I'm thinking about you all the time, and I ultimately landed on the Aura frame. It's a digital picture frame. In fact, it's the best digital photo frame according to the people over at Wirecutter. My mom sees it every day on the table in her entryway. I've uploaded photos of some of our favorite family moments together, like a huge throwback of all of us together at Kalahari up in the dunes, a recent one with my siblings and my mom at a Bulls game. I got a picture with our grandparents. Plus, anybody can add pictures from wherever they live and she'll see them almost immediately and know we're thinking about her. Aura has a great deal for Mother's Day coming up. For a limited time, listeners can save on the perfect gift by visiting auraframes.com to get $35 off plus free shipping on their best-selling Carver matte frame. That's Aura, A-U-R-A, frames.com, promo code CityCast. Support the show by mentioning us at checkout. Terms and conditions apply. Michelle, I want to talk for a minute about this CityCast Chicago neighbor thing we got going on. We all seen just how much slop and noise there can be on social media. I got to unfollow, block a lot of different accounts. Uninterested is one of my favorite things to hit when I'm scrolling. And I think listeners connect with us because, we local, me and you, born and raised in the city. We try to keep it real, right? We do our best not to gatekeep, right? We don't just cover Michelin star restaurants. We constantly talking about the grocery store taco, right? We bring you conversations with real people about the things that matter most here in Chicago. Michelle, what's one episode we've done that really sticks with you?
Yeah, one episode that really sticks with me has to be the episode we did back in December when I attended the Trace Survivor Storytelling Workshop. And so I got to sit in a room with people who are survivors of gun violence. They've lost someone to gun violence. That episode really, I feel like, speaks to kind of what we do here at CityCast Chicago, because we try to be in corners of the city, places, talk to people who go through these experiences that not all Chicagoans do, but it is a large part of the culture. It is a large part of the Chicago story. And so my favorite thing is finding people, finding stories in Chicago that will connect us to, everything that happens in the city, to bring that to our listeners so that they can learn something new, so they could feel more connected to the people that make our city, is just fundamental to our job here and why I love this job. What about you, Jacoby? What sticks out to you?
First, I want to say I appreciate you. That episode, the episode we did last week where you followed up and went to the vigil in North Lawndale. I don't think people really think about how the podcast is made, whether we're in the field, whether we're having conversations from our homes, the amount of heart we put into our episodes, the amount of prep and attention to detail that you and Simone and all the other producers who work with us put in. I don't think people know how much goes into it because you all make it look so easy, and the podcast is so digestible and accessible every single day. But it takes a lot to make them. And some of my favorite episodes have been going out with you for a great animal story. To this day, being in the pigeon rescue, which sounds like some big organization, is just a lady crib. Right. And to sit with those two, to meet all of the pigeons, I had never held a pigeon in my hand before.
Me neither. Never did I think we would. And we were just chilling with them. That was so fun.
Those have been some of my favorite moments. I got to watch you eat your first sweet steak from home at a hoagie.
In your mom's basement too, in your mom's beautiful home. Right. That was so fun. That was such a good sandwich. You saw me, we were going to town on those sandwiches because that was so fire. And I still to this day tell my friends about how good that damn sandwich was. Mm-hmm.
And I know for people who are maybe just listening to us for the first time, when we try to describe the podcast on the street, it can feel like a lot. Our work is to be curious and to explore everything, to keep you informed about all the things happening in Chicago and sharing the joyful moments that make this city what it is, on top of the things that annoy us and frustrate us and piss us off. We know that this is something you value because you are here with us listening, whether it's your first episode or your 1000th. And we want to make sure we can keep doing this for as long as possible. So if you got it, consider becoming a CityCast Chicago neighbor. For just $10 a month, you can make sure we can continue to do this work, have these conversations.
And, of course, there's perks. When you become a CityCast Chicago Neighbor, you get access to neighbor-only events with us, yours truly, the CityCast Chicago team. And when you sign up today, we'll send you a complimentary CityCast Chicago coffee mug as a welcome gift.
We just had one of those neighbor events recently. And the thing I think we all heard, like, oh, it's so good to put a face to a name. And oh my God, we didn't know what y'all looked like. But no, it was so nice to meet everybody at our last event. And we really are going to do more of those this year. That's not just the thing we say and dropping into the ether. Like we following through on this, y'all. So if you believe that better neighbors make better cities, make a better Chicago, join us, throw us a little bit of coin. Become a CityCast Chicago neighbor today at membership.citycast.fm. Again, that's membership.citycast.fm. Michelle, if you could plan the ultimate member event, what would it be?
I'm actually stealing this idea from Simone. But Simone kind of was talking about going to a baseball game.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that would be super fun.
I think I just did the National Association of Black Journalists mentorship event, and I'm saying they got us we had a suite up there. We had two of them little Jones. We got to watch the game. They had some food. We got to network. We got to connect. Like, connecting with people at the game, all in the stands, is tough. Right? It's tough because I can't yell down 20 people. But you get a couple of suites, join. Hey, the White Sox might donate them. Like, just reach out, send them an email. Maybe. They might want the press.
They need people to go to their game. They need people to fill in them suites.
Wrigley ain't doing deals whether they got one loss or 100 losses. Sox, they gonna throw you some deals.
Well, we can, if anything, we can just tailgate. We can all tailgate together like some real neighbors.
CityCast Chicago tailgate. I like that.
Yeah, CityCast Chicago tailgate.
Maybe they'll rent us out a little van or something.
Oh yeah, well we could tailgate out of Simone's car. So you don't want to miss that.
Simone already got enough food and coffee in that car to support 100 members. 100 members. Enough mixed chickens for the gang. Me, if I had to plan a member event, now it's a tough one because, you know, it is an extreme sport. But I think I think if we could pull up to the rink, if everybody wanted to come through, get some brown sugars, sign a waiver. I skate with people. I teach you how to skate backwards. We get out there for 2 hours, hot dogs on us, nachos on us.
Wait, I would love to learn how to skate from you, Jacoby.
I'd probably bring the homie Sydney in there, who'll be skating with Usher. But I give a couple lessons. My brother is a great teacher. We got some ideas percolating, y'all. Maybe a little mini food festival, try and get out to a cheap Sox game. Maybe go to the rink. And it's still up for grabs. We will read the entire 1,000 things we love about Chicago. We gonna all get together. It's gonna be a good time, y'all. It's gonna be a good time. Membership.citycast.fm. Join this burgeoning crew. Get you a CityCast Chicago mug. Get you all these perks and bennies. Come kick it with us in real life, all of that. But first, you got to sign up. You got to subscribe.
What sort of promises have you made to yourself this year? Getting in better shape, eating healthier, saving more money, traveling somewhere new? What about discovering a new culture by learning a new language? With Babbel, you can do that in just a few weeks. I'm David Plotz, the CEO of CityCast, and I've been learning Spanish with Babbel. Babbel's quick 10-minute lessons, handcrafted by over 200 language experts, get you to begin speaking your new language in 3 weeks or whatever pace you choose. And because conversing is the key to really understanding each other in new languages, Babbel is designed using practical, real-world conversations. The Spanish I learned on Babbel really helped me on a recent trip to Mexico City. Ordering in restaurants, shopping at the textile market, cheering on at the Lucha Libre. And I've been keeping it up since I got home. You're a podcast listener. I know that because you're listening here. I bet you'll love Babbel's new podcasts. On Eavesdrop in Espanol, which I listen to, you get to listen to a real conversation, then have the teacher host explain back to you. Then you listen again and catch everything. And you can even read along in the transcript. It's a really fun and effective way to learn. Let's get more of you talking in a new language. Babbel is gifting CityCast listeners 60% off subscriptions at babbel.com/CityCast. Get up to 60% off at babbel.com/CityCast. Spelled BABBEL.com/CityCast. Babbel.com/CityCast. Rules and restrictions may apply.
Hey, CityCast. According to me and my calculator, you will spend more time this week between the sheets than you will at work. So upgrade your sheets to Cozy Earth. Luxury starts where you rest. I start my evening in buttery soft Cozy Earth bamboo pajamas. Then I dip into a Cozy Earth bamboo sheet set. They are silky and temperature regulating. Forget the 9 to 5. Prioritize your 5 to 9. Cozy Earth products will transform those hours into a sanctuary. And they take comfort seriously with a 100-night sleep trial and a 10-year warranty. Luxury should not be out of reach, so Cozy Earth is giving CityCast listeners 40% off their best-selling sheets, towels, pajamas, and more. Visit CozyEarth.com and use the code CozyChicago for 40% off, because you deserve a great night's sleep, and sanctuary awaits at Cozy Earth.
All right, before we get out of here, Michelle, I love going to new restaurants in Chicago. I got a couple on my list, one of which I'm going to hit this week. So I want to check in with you. What's some new spots around the city you craving right now?
Yeah, so one that came to mind, this is one of my favorite dumpling spots, QXY. It's now opening another location in Wicker Park.
Come on.
This makes me happy because one, I mean, of course, congratulations to them, because obviously this means that business is booming, that they can expand, but also it will keep Northsiders out of Chinatown. And so my line to get my dumplings won't be as long anymore. So thank you so much, QXY. Everyone above Roosevelt, go to Wicker Park. And no, I wouldn't say Roosevelt. If you're around Roosevelt, you could come down to Chinatown.
Yeah, I was like, Roosevelt is like Chinatown right there.
Exactly. I would say Madison. If you're above Madison, QXY is famously known for their soup dumplings, which even as the weather gets warmer, you can never get tired of a soup dumpling. My favorite dumplings from there have to be the beef and onion. They have Wagyu soup dumplings, which are also so good, and a very classic tomato and egg, which for me, I love. It's just so hearty and it's almost like a breakfast dumpling. But yeah, delicious spot. If you haven't checked it out, you go to Chinatown. Even if you're a Northsider, go to Chinatown, check out the OG spot, but then, go back up north.
I like the shrimp, pork, and leek ones, and I usually get them either steamed or pan fried.
What about you, Jacoby? What is a new restaurant you're eyeing?
All right, so one is over in Little Village, Unico Restaurante. They opened back in November, but they announced on April 1st that they got a brunch menu now. And I was just going through the menu and the pictures, and they got a chilaquiles that looks fantastic. They got steak and eggs that looks fantastic. The English muffin breakfast sandwich with the chicken andouille sausage, avocado, jardinera mayo, fried eggs with the house potatoes. And so Unico restaurant over in Little Village. The brunch menu looks good. The regular menu looks fantastic. So I'm gonna have to slide over there real soon. You got another one for us?
Yeah, another one that I'm checking out is Cowabunga Pizza Pies in Bridgeport. I'm always looking for like a good New York style slice.
Always looking. Boo.
Okay, I love New York style, and one thing that I will say is that it's hard to find a spot, especially kind of close to me. Again, I'm on the southwest side, that serves by the slice, because sometimes you don't want to wait for the whole pie. You know what I mean?
Point.
Sometimes you're not with your whole gang. Sometimes it's just you and you just want a slice of pizza. And so I feel like I've been looking for places that I can just stop by on some quick takeout, get a slice. And so this spot is in Bridgeport. It's described as kind of giving 90s nostalgia, which I also think is kind of cute.
Yeah, Cowabunga. That's from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, right?
Yep. I'm kind of looking forward to stopping in, checking it out and getting a slice.
Right until you said 90s nostalgia, I did not put two and two together. I'm like, oh, I get it now. Cowabunga pizza, TMNT, they love the pizza. I got it. All right, I'm on their menu. The slice of the Casey Jones look real good. New York style, grilled chicken, pickle red onion, barbecue sauce, green onions. I'm a sucker for a barbecue chicken pizza. And so that looked real good. April O'Neil is spinach, garlic, grilled chicken, and tomato. And it's a white pie. Okay. I like this. I might have to pull up on them. My last two I'm going to add will take us into the South Burbs. One is St. Patrick's Steakhouse and Rooftop Lounge in Dalton. Summertime is coming, so a good new rooftop is great in the Chicagoland area. But if people first heard that St. Patrick's, it's not St. Patrick's Day themed. It's more given like upscale St. Patrick from Ghost, like the 50 Cent multi-universe, that like James St. Patrick. So it's supposed to be given like real kind of chic club vibes, but I think it's like 2 levels inside. That looks like a really good spot. I'm really excited to try. And then later this week, I'm hoping to go to Homewood Brewing Company, which was founded by Carmela Wallace, the mother of Juice WRLD. And their menus look really good. They got a Mango Lorien, a Belgian wit with mango that I'm really excited. It kind of tastes like mango puree, some coriander, mild sweetness. So that's one. And then they also, for their cocktails, have a Anything is Possible, which sounds real good. Hennessy, some tropical juices, splash of grenadine. They throw a little pineapple on top. Looks like it's real good. So I'm excited to get over to Homewood Brewing to try those smoked wings alongside a Mango Lorien and a Anything is Possible. Shout out to Kevin Garnett, Farragut High School. And then for honorable mention, Pilsen's Pollo Express opening their second location in Ravenswood. We will drop links to all of these spots in our show notes. Happy eating through the rest of April, my friends. I want to give a huge shout out to our producer extraordinaire, Michelle Navarro. Always a pleasure.
Thanks, Jacoby.
Some good news. I'm hosting the Moth Grand Slam this Thursday at the Athenaeum up in Lakeview. I believe there are some tickets left. I will drop a link in the show notes. The Grand Slam is essentially all of the most recent Story Slam winners facing off against each other to name themselves the ultimate Moth champion in Chicago. I competed in quite a few of these over at the Athenaeum. And let's just say I'm hosting now, so you guess how it went. As always, I appreciate you for reading, listening, being a CityCast neighbor. Sign up now at membership.citycast.fm. I'm going to talk to you bright and early tomorrow. Peace. Please, please, please remember, this is our spring membership campaign. We want you to be a CityCast Chicago neighbor. Starting at $10 a month.